house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother Canada 8 updates and spoilers, and happy International Women's Day. Woo! So our house guest of the day today is Wendy. Wendy, thank you so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. And if anybody watching wants to be house guest of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. All right, we have some things to discuss. When we left off yesterday, everyone was waiting around for the Power Veto competition. Just a few reminders here. The players were Brooke, Hira, and then 3 extras, Carol, Vanessa, and Maddie. It's only 5 because the HOH is not playing in the Power Veto this season, just like last year. So, let's talk about Chris's plan real quick. He wants that Power Veto to be used, and he wants to backdoor Michael. So that's fine and dandy. The consensus seemed to be that Brooke should be the one coming down with the power of veto because she's in with more people, and I don't know. Honestly, I think it's like a popularity thing. I think she's got more friends at this point. But anyway, then Vanessa and Chris were going through different scenarios in the HOH room. Bottom line, Chris wants Michael out. But now Vanessa's questioning, is leaving Hira on the block really going to get that done? You know, what if they are able to flip the vote and say, like, oh, Hira's a threat, we got to get rid of him, and then Michael stays? Like, you're going to be in trouble. So Chris does not want to risk Hira going instead of Michael. So now he's thinking, okay, Brooke should stay up on the block. She's not going to be happy about it, but she'll be fine. Okay, so that lasted for a few minutes, and then Suzanne talked to Chris, and she quickly changes his mind back. She's like, you know what? I heard that Hira is trying to get in with the 4. We can't have that. We can't let them have another number. I know for a fact that Brooke is with us, so we should reward her and keep her safe by taking her off the block. And Chris, I mean, he likes the arguments that Suzanne is making, but he really likes Suzanne. It is clear that he is attracted to her. She has a boyfriend, but he is very handsy with her. He really needs to, like, stop touching Suzanne, because it's, like, too much. Okay, so the evictors, let's check in with them. They're trying to figure out what's happening. Michael is getting really paranoid that he could be the replacement nominee if the veto is used. With good reason. Like, he should be paranoid because that's the plan. He's also really freaked out because Sheldon said to him, oh, if I won the power veto, I wouldn't use it. I mean, he's not even playing, so it doesn't really matter, but that's freaking Michael out because he's thinking, you know, everybody's telling me that the plan this week is to backdoor Min Lee, so why would Sheldon, like, go against the house, and why would Sheldon not carry that out? Like, what's going on here? So he also is hearing from the other side, Kyle is telling Maddie that she should use the power veto if she wins. So Michael's like, I don't know, I don't think that we should risk using the power veto. He feels like they can't really trust Kyle as much now, like he's trying to pull something, which he is. So he's running around a lot right now, Michael. Very, very paranoid. And again, with good reason. Okay, so then Kyle and Vanessa were in the swamp room with Maddie, Rianne, and Michael. And Maddie's all, I'm too scared, like, if I have to use the veto, like, I'm gonna freak out, and I don't want to send anyone home if she wins. So then she's like, what if I use it and somebody that I like goes up instead of Min Lee? She doesn't want to deal with that. She doesn't want to have that on her. So Kyle says, okay, well, think about this. Like, we don't even have to vote out whoever Chris puts up as the replacement nominee. Just hypothetically, say that Chris puts Michael up on the block. Kyle says, I wouldn't vote Michael out. You wouldn't vote Michael out. You wouldn't vote Michael out. You wouldn't vote Michael out. Oh, Kyle, you're really setting yourself up here. So he says, let's leave the big players in here to take Chris out, you know? We're going to need some strength here to get rid of him. So Rianne says, oh my god, I know. It's like so early, and I think the big players deserve to be here right now. What the F are you talking about? If that's what you think, then you're not long for this season. But yeah, I hate when people say like, oh, this person deserves to be here, especially like this early on in the season. Why do you deserve to be there because you have big muscles or whatever? Like, no. I had such high hopes for Rianne, and I'm kind of questioning that. But Rianne also said, every guy here deserves to be here. You're gonna pull this shit on International Women's Day? No. So, the bigger picture here, what is Kyle doing? You know, is he actually saying, oh, I would keep Michael if he was up on the block, or is he just saying that to make sure that Maddie would use the veto if she wins? Honestly, I'm pretty sure Kyle's just trying to make sure that the veto is used, but he needs to be careful because this information can get out, it can be misconstrued, and I'm telling you right now, it will be. So Michael is still shook that Sheldon said that he wouldn't use the power of veto. And he's wondering, why would he go against the house? Does he know something that we don't? Like, am I going to be in trouble? Is he in trouble? I thought the plan here was to backdoor Min Lee. Okay, so then Maddie tells Jamar about the swamp conversation, this one that we were just talking about. And she lets him know there's some weird stuff going on with Sheldon right now. We're getting mixed messages about him, from him. So then Jamar is upset about this. He's talking to Suzanne in the comic bedroom, and he is pissed. He tells Suzanne, do not trust Vanessa or Kyle. Don't tell them anything. They're trying to work with the four. So then he's trying to explain that Sheldon told the four that he wouldn't use the veto if he wanted, and Suzanne's like, why would he say that? That doesn't make sense. So then Jamar is saying, oh no, he was telling them so that they wouldn't go for it. But like, there's a big difference there between I wouldn't use the POV and don't try to win it. Like, there's a little bit of a disconnect there. So I'm not really sure what he meant by that. But anyway, he says Sheldon has been telling Kyle and Vanessa that he wants a big target out this week, meaning Michael. So he's just, Sheldon is following along with the two plans like everyone else was. You tell the four that you want Min Lee out, and everybody else knows that Michael is the target. But Sheldon kind of messed up here because he didn't keep his story consistent talking to the four when he said, oh yeah, I wouldn't use the veto. He messed up. So Jamar says, oh, Maddie told me that Kyle and Vanessa said, try to follow along, that Sheldon wants the veto used. So now Sheldon's looking really sketchy to the four. So Jamar is taking this as Kyle and Vanessa threw Sheldon under the bus. And it takes a while for Suzanne to understand what Sheldon's trying to say. It is a little bit of a crazy train of thought. Like, it makes sense what Jamar is saying, especially with the information that he has. But eventually Suzanne does get it. And she's like, oh, okay, you're telling me that Kyle and Vanessa are playing both sides. But honestly, I don't think they were deliberately trying to throw Sheldon under the bus. I think, again, Sheldon made a mistake, which sucks because I love him, by telling Michael that he wouldn't use the veto. So then Suzanne's like, wait a second. She's putting the pieces together. She says, Sheldon slipped up. He should not have said that the veto shouldn't be used. Kyle and Vanessa are just following the plan and trying to make sure that the veto will be used so that Michael can go up on the block and we can vote him out. So then that conversation's over. Suzanne tells Vanessa and Brooke about it, and they agree, oh yeah, Sheldon messed up. I don't know why he told Michael that he wouldn't use the veto. So Suzanne says, Jamar doesn't realize that we're all working together and we're all in on this plan and the fake plan that Min Lee is the backdoor target, but it's really Michael. So she says Jamar is really starting to piece everything together, and that's freaking her out. Maybe you shouldn't have like 5 million alliances with almost the whole entire house. So Jamar comes back in the room he says he's feeling out of the loop, and it's really annoying because he feels like people just think he's like the goofball, and he wants to be included in game conversations. So the girls are trying to squash all the paranoia, and they clarify Michael is the actual backdoor target this week, but people are telling the four that Min Lee is the target because they want to make sure that if Maddie wins the veto, she will use it so that we can get Michael up on the block. So then Jamar is also checking with Sheldon because, like, obviously, right? Sheldon's in the middle of all this. And Sheldon says, it's okay. Kyle and Vanessa are fine. They're not, like, doing anything to go against me or to try and throw me under the bus. And Michael is just bugging. He's paranoid right now. Again, with good reason. But Sheldon says it's fine because Michael is going. We're going to vote him out. And then we're going to be targeting Maddie soon, too. They do not want her around because they definitely view her as a threat. Okay, so then the feeds go down for several hours for the Power Veto competition. And again, we have Brooke and Hira playing along with 3 extra players, Carol, Maddie, and Vanessa. So there was a really quick leak of the competition setup before they started playing. And they had these like long lanes for each player with fake fish hanging up at the end of each lane. So from that and from what I've heard from the house guests, it sounds like they had to crawl on their knees and carry their fish from one end to the other in their mouths. Ugh. So, I don't know. I think there was also a puzzle in this competition. But the feeds came back around 12:15 a.m. and we found out that Hira won the Power of Veto. Good for you. I like him so far. So apparently it was a really brutal competition. A lot of people had really banged up knees. Hira said that he was coughing up blood. What the actual F? And then later other people were having coughing fits and like also coughing up blood. I guess there was some fake snow involved in the competition and it really messed some people up. So Carol was upset and she was crying because when she was carrying the fake fish, I think they were made of foam, but somehow she managed to like loosen up one of her front teeth. What is going on in this house? So we're going to come back to Carol, but just a little bit more post-POV madness. Jamar and Min Lee kissed, and Sheldon was in the room at the time. This was in the Expedia lounge, and Sheldon was not happy about it. I guess because he's really close to Jamar, and he seems pissed that Jamar is getting into a showmance here. So, yeah, that's happening. Brooke was crying. She's upset that she's going to be staying on the block the whole week. And she also said she's just crashing after a really long day and feeling really paranoid and knowing she's got, like, the whole rest of the week left of feeling like that. So, Suzanne and Angie, where has she been? Angie was also reassuring Brooke, it's going to be okay, you're fine, you're not going anywhere. Chris and everybody else was telling her throughout the night, stay calm, you're not going anywhere this week. Okay, so back to Carol. She was having a full meltdown last night. She is talking about self-evicting. What? Okay, so she was saying she didn't realize that the competitions would be this hard. She's got a bad back, she's got bad knees, and didn't she say in her preseason interviews that she was going to be a comp beast and people were going to be really surprised? Well, she also says that she promised her wife and her daughter that she would not push her body too hard. She knows her limits, and she's saying she doesn't want to get dragged along as a weak player with like no chance of winning when she has a daughter at home that she could be spending time with. Oh my god, come on, you've played in 2 competitions now, and you're already like, no, I'm out, I'm tapping out. They're not all gonna be like that. There's all different types of competitions. I'm sure she's just feeling like really overwhelmed right now. And it's kind of like a shock to have such a physically demanding competition so early in the season. And I know emotions are running high and everything for everyone, but come on. Are we really going to have another person quit so early in the game? So everybody's comforting Carol, and Min Lee was alone with Carol at one point. She starts dropping some info. So she tells Carol, okay, I'm gonna tell you something right now. There was this fake backdoor plan this week, and I agreed to be a part of it, and the four think that, like, I'm the target, blah, blah, blah. But she does reveal, like, it's freaking me out, and it's like messing with my head and making me think, like, oh my god, am I the actual backdoor target this week? So Carol's like, oh, I already knew about all this, like, Kyle told me, so this is not a surprise. Min Lee also spills that she and Jamar made out a few nights ago. So that kiss after the POV was not the first one. When Carol's like, oh, that's obvious. Like, everybody sees you two together. We know. Okay. So they're not keeping that under wraps. But today, what the actual F is going on in this house? Kyle, Vanessa, and Suzanne were talking, and they are now saying that they want Min Lee to be the real backdoor target and to get rid of her this week. What? They feel like they cannot trust her. She's going to be causing a lot of trouble, stirring up a lot of drama, because Min Lee had this conversation with Vanessa where she was saying, oh, we have to backdoor Kyle. She's trying to convince people to throw the next HOH competition so they can take him out. So Kyle is like, no, we can't have this. So the three of them are like, all right, we're going to go talk to Chris and we're going to see what he says. So they approach him about it, and Chris is not into this plan. He does not want to go after Min Lee this week. He wants to take out Michael still. So he's going through the whole house basically and saying, like, I've got this person, I've got this person, I got this person. He gets to Carol and they're like, no, Carol is leaving. What? So cut the feeds. Can't hear about that. So yeah, Chris is like, I don't want to change the plan. Do you really think that Min Lee is going to win the HOH next week? She could. We saw her beast it out in that first competition. But he says, whatever, no. She's one person. We need to break up the four. We need to do this now. So he's like, screw you, Kyle. I'm doing what I want. Which, I mean, why shouldn't he, right? So, yeah, that was squashed pretty quickly. I don't know if they're going to keep persisting that Min Lee should go this week. But I just feel like it's one of those situations where these house guests are realizing how much time there is, how much downtime there is between competitions and ceremonies, and because of that, they're just going to be like, oh, well, we should get out this person now, and we should get out this person now. So they have their ideas set, and then they're like, nope, I don't have anything to do, so I'm going to pick out a new target. I feel like that's what's happening here. But also, Min Lee is pretty dumb to tell Vanessa that they should take out Kyle when Vanessa is, like, always with Kyle. But anyway, the feeds have been down for a while today, and it's unclear if Carol is, like, trying to leave, because I think she did say that she was going to talk to the producers, or if they're doing some sort of, like, special sponsored activity, one of those types of things. So, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting, and I'm going to be, like, shook if another person leaves. And I get that she misses her daughter and her wife, but it's just too much. It's too much. So let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. And until tomorrow, much love.